my third year at Morehouse, we graduated from the same college, Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was his assistant from the time that I was a senior at Morehouse through the time that I was in seminary. And my mother and father grew up in the church where he pastored, and my great-grandfather's name is on the cornerstone of the historic Ebenezer Heritage Sanctuary, because it goes back 4 generations in that church. And that was why I was his assistant. And at the time of his assassination, his sister called me and asked me to give the prayer at the funeral. And I was also a fraternity brother of Dr. King's, and when they brought his body into Belmont College, where my sister now teaches, I was among those, the first 2 that stood over his body at the time that they brought it in to be viewed at Spelman. Then we went across town and had the service was held at Ebenezer.
You're the coolest substitute in the world.
Wait, I have a question.
Really?
Sit down.
Yes, I was.
You were at the March of Washington?
Oh
my gosh, you're so cool.
I got a question. Why did you move to West Virginia if you're famous?
Yeah. You're all over
I
Google.
came here because of a church downtown that called me to come to be a pastor
Which church?
at First Baptist Church of Charleston.
I'm going there.
Yep, we're going there this Sunday. I'm sorry, sir. I have a question though. I have a question. What was your reaction when you saw Dr. Martin Luther King get shot?
Yeah.
I'm scared.
I remember I was on the way, I was in seminary and I was on the way to do some research at the library, and I heard over the radio that Martin Luther King Jr. had been killed. He had expected to be killed. He had always talked about living every day under the threat of death. But the reason that he was killed was not because of him being a civil rights leader, but because he had taken on the country and he had made the president upset because of his position on the war in Vietnam. And he was also planning to have a Poor People's Campaign march on Washington to really call for poor people's issues to be taken care of. And that was how the demonstration was going to be channeled. And that was a very dangerous kind of work for him to be involved in, and he paid for it with his life.
Was he a really nice man?
He was. He enjoyed working as much as he could with youth, because I remember when we were invited out to his father and mother's house, he sat at the piano and he started playing Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata.
Brittany Stewart, please come to the office.
And then all of a sudden, because it was us, he started playing the Boogie Woogie. And that was a kind of way of him saying that he did not have to be serious all the time, that he liked being serious.
Cool.
Can you tell us a very secretive fact that most people don't know about?
Yeah,
Dr.
will you
Martin
please
Luther
tell
King?
us?
Yeah, I can tell you 10 things.
Oh my God.
Probably. And this is something you can look up on the internet. 10 things you didn't know about Martin Luther King. One is that he was not born Martin Luther King. His born name was Michael. He was born Michael Luther King.
Oh, I knew that.
And his father changed their names to Martin when he was about 6 years old. And his father, there are 2 stories about that. One was that his father had gone to Germany and found out about the great reformer by the name of Martin Luther.
Oh yeah.
And therefore he came back and decided to change his name to Martin Luther King Sr. And therefore he changed his son's name to Martin Luther King Jr. The other thing you may not know is that Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis, but his mother was also killed while she was playing the organ in the church, and a deranged gunman got up in the sanctuary and began shooting. And he might have been aiming at Dr. King's father, but hit Mama King, as we called her, as she was sitting playing at the organ.
Were you there?
And you would never guess what she was playing. She was playing the Lord's Prayer.
Wow.
And while she was playing the Lord's Prayer, a gunman shot her and one other deacon who was at the church. And so she was also killed by a assassin. Well, she was also murdered while she was playing the organ in church, and that was a very sad day.
Have you ever met
for us.
Rosa Parks?
Yes, I met
What?
Rosa Parks.
Oh my God! What the heck? This is the coolest
She was a
sense.
very-
Will you
legend.
be a 7th grade teacher? Because one of the 7th grade teachers is retiring. So can you comment, please? Please, 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 please.
Can I do what?
Can you please come and teach in 7th grade? Because one of the 7th grade teachers is retiring, and you really need to teach.
Oh,
Like
no,
social
no.
studies.
I
And then,
have
and then we
more
would know
fun doing this
everything.
because this way I can go around to see what different people and different schools are doing.
This is amazing.
Has anybody ever
One
asked?
Who was the
thing-
most famous person you met?
And I tell you what I might be able to do, and that is to show some pictures of Dr. King when he was about your age.
Oh my gosh.
Did you ever meet Michael Jordan?
There are some pictures that my mother took of him, and also some other pictures.
Your
that
mother
we
knew?
have.
What?
Yeah.
Your family is amazing.
Okay.
My things back. What, like,
I don't want to leave.
where did Martin Luther King live after the KKK bombed his house?
Oh, he moved into another house in Montgomery.
Did you know where he lived? Like, have you been there before?
Oh, I went to both houses. Yeah.
Is
When
that
we went
it really cool?
to the one in Montgomery, and then when he moved to Atlanta, it was not far from where I went to high school. The house that he moved in when he came to Atlanta was right around the corner from the high school that I attended.
You should teach so that you can take us a field trip there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some kids from the Montessori school that were taking a field trip down there, and I talked to them a little bit about what they would be able to see.
Well, they're lucky.
This is
Have
amazing.
you ever taken part in any of like the big protests, like
March on Washington.
Yeah, the march. Like,
No,
were
like,
you
because they
like were you
down,
one of the
like,
men behind him, like
down south?
in like the March of Washington?
No, I was within a few yards of him, but I
That's
was
still
not
not far.
among those that were behind him at the time of the march.
How's it feel?
The other thing that you might not know in terms of that march, he didn't intend to end it with the "I Have a Dream" speech.
All ROTC students report to the lobby immediately. All ROTC students report to the lobby immediately.
He had intended to end it another way because a lot of us had heard him do the "I Have a Dream" part many, many times, and he wanted to end it with another way that he had chosen to end it. He had written it out, but somebody in the back of him, a lady by the name of Mahalia Jackson, who was a gospel singer and who had sung right before he got up at the march, she said to him, "Remember, tell him about the dream, Mark. Tell him about the dream." And in his way, and as he has been able to do many, many times, he was able to shift right on the spot and go into the "I Have a Dream" part. It became known as the "I Have a Dream" speech, but that really was not intended to be the ending. He had planned something else, but she asked him to tell him about the dream.
You're
That's how he ended
amazing.
that way.
How does it feel to be famous?
He's not famous because like news reporters are like all around him. Were you there whenever the Birmingham bombing happened?
I was not in Birmingham when the Birmingham bomb happened, but I remember it. But I was not in Birmingham at the time.
So like, oh my.
One of the things, I'm glad you mentioned Birmingham. One of the things I want to say right quick, Birmingham was the first time that they involved children. And kids about your age were part of the Birmingham movement and really made it work because they went to jail and they were excited about what
I don't wanna
Birmingham
leave, I don't
was
wanna
all
leave.
about. And it was because of
Those
them.
things not playing. I don't want to leave. That question's on.
Gotta go.
Can we
Gotta go. Gotta go.
No, I need to get a selfie.
JFK?
Stop. Oh my god. Watch out.